how about this new, what's his title? Commissioner of Public Safety, I believe, is his fancy $300,000 a year title.
You're goddamn right. That is my title. And if you got something to say about it, stick it up your ass. Send tweet.
Listen, fat.
Oh shit.
Cedric Alexander, everybody.
Yes.
If you're not on Twitter, don't worry, Isaac is.
I'm on Twitter. I'm holding up. I don't engage, but I listen.
I'm glad
You lurk?
on the front lines.
I
for
lurk.
us.
Yeah, I don't listen. I lurk. So about, I think, a little over a month into the job, Cedric Alexander formerly worked for DeSantis, I believe, in Florida, doing some sort of...
He was like a contractor
Law
in
enforcement?
Florida and law enforcement
Okay.
stuff, and then DeSantis appointed him to a utilities board for a portion of Florida.
Gotcha. He also did work in Rochester, New York, and actually engaged in similar Twitter behavior.
Was he deputy mayor of?
I think he was
Rochester,
deputy
New
mayor
York?
of but it's like it's kind of like an executive
It's
director,
like a city manager type of
Yeah.
position. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, a little over a month on the job, and he goes on this is like a educated guess, but like a sauced Twitter vendetta, basically coming at the cadre of, leftists on Twitter who are asking easy questions. It all started with a tweet from Amity Foster asking about a bunch of unoccupied police cars that were being parked around downtown Minneapolis with their lights on.
This is the brilliant plan that
This
he's
is
come with.
Operation Endeavor,
Yeah.
his coup d'etat.
Ghost cops.
Ghost cops. Yeah, spooky season, ghost cops. We're going to bring down crime with cold cop cars. So yeah, she just asked like a very logical question about like, what is this endeavor showing by, parking all these empty cop cars? And he responded, "It shows an effort to increase police visibility throughout downtown and across the city. If you didn't see them, you would complain about that, wouldn't you? Enough of you two-faced talking from both sides of your mouth already."
Wow.
Both sides.
So this is the highest paid public official in the city of Minneapolis history, coming at a citizen who asked an innocent question, calling them, talking out of two sides of their mouth, two-faced. Crazy.
Just unhinged. And it's very much Mayor Fry's his camp. Like, that's kind of their trademark. Like, other people close to him, Joe Rad, his confidant / like campaign manager sort of, has done this. Ken Martin, the head of the state DFL, has done this. Everyone in that conservative Democratic cadre. But it's just wild. He just kept going. He had like very childish responses. Another response I thought was pretty wild was someone said, Cedric Alexander is just one more cop Jacob Fry can't control, because it's true. He's a cop. Clearly can't be controlled by Jacob Fry. And he said, "Slavery is over. No one controls anyone anymore. Sorry."
Yeah, this dude is like really bold. And like, this made local news. I wasn't on Twitter. This is the first time I've had like desire to be on Twitter in a while, because I felt like I had definitely had FOMO from this. But just wild. And I think like I started to follow some leads in, because I didn't pay that close of attention when he was hired, right? It's like they co-opted the idea of somebody above the police chief. So they created this new position and put a policeman in there who makes $300,000 a year or something like that, and is supposed to be in charge of public safety. And I look back, and not only in the past has he had this type of like disrespectful, unprofessional exchanges with people on social media, on Twitter, he also had really credible charges of sexual assault against him, saying that as a superior, when he worked in Rochester, he would go on ride-alongs with younger women officers and hit on them the whole time, ask them on dates. He was aggressively pursuing this woman, and she rebuked him, and then she got fired. And there's, investigation into it. And I don't know where it landed. It didn't sound like I think it didn't sound like he got indicted with any of these charges. But there was that, which is like, obviously, you see somebody in a position of power like that. It's like, it rings true from the behavior that he's distributed so far. And then not only the sexual assault allegations did he have with him, he also had investigations in Rochester and when he worked in Georgia, DeKalb County, Georgia, of double dipping. Because this dude's like a celebrity in the world of law enforcement. He's like a speaker.
Yeah.
He has an agent. He's written a book. He was appointed by Obama to the task force on 21st century policing.
Yeah, he's on MSNBC a lot.
Exactly. So like while he's
head.
getting a full-time salary from the city, he was in the office like a real low amount of days, traveling around the country, picking up checks from like Axios, a taser company, which then the city that he worked for in Georgia he was getting paid for them to do speeches and getting taken out to lunches and shit. And then the city he worked for was buying equipment from them. So just really on the money of what you would expect from Jacob Fry and the DFL establishment in the Twin Cities is like create this bullshit new position and fill it with a scumbag. And that's supposed to like do something.
Cool. So another carpetbagger, like Jacob Fry, and then after this, he'll just move on to like another city and unleash his Twitter terror upon them.
Right.
Yeah, and it's important to note that all of this was brought up at his confirmation hearings.
Was it?
Yeah, like by council members, by people in the public hearings. They brought up the sexual assault accusations. They brought up his Twitter rants. They brought up his connections to Axios, taser company.
See, I didn't even know.
And it was just downplayed,
Yeah.
I think 8 to 5 probably was approved, I'm guessing. And yeah, it's disgusting that like the bar is so low.
Yeah.
And the pay is so high.
I swear to God.
And mask is completely off at this point,